Tyler, how are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks, Kevin. How are you doing? And
Doing
hey,
good.
thank you for taking the time to shine a light on what different charities are doing and what Hope for Haiti is doing to mitigate the social and economic and health impacts of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Absolutely. No, happy to do so. I mean, that's part of Charity Navigator's mission is to try to make impactful philanthropy as easy for all. And certainly want to be able to highlight some of the good causes and organizations that are making the world a better place, which is definitely something that we need right now. That being said, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, obviously I'm hyper familiar of the work that you all are doing and you personally, but love to give an opportunity for you to tell the history of Hope for Haiti and how you came to be and the work that you all are doing.
Yeah, thanks so much, Kevin. I appreciate that. And again, appreciate this opportunity to be with you today. So for the last 30 years, Hope for Haiti has been working to improve the quality of life for Haitian people, particularly children. And we've been doing that by empowering 53 Haitian professionals, doctors, nurses, educators, technicians who live in Haiti or are Haitian, who are improving the quality of life for the people in their own country by working with systems of education, healthcare, infrastructure, access to clean water, and economic development. Our team is on the ground, they're doing the work, they're making the impact. We also have a team of about 10 people here in the United States who focus on raising funds, raising awareness, providing programmatic technical expertise, so that we can directly serve 24 partner communities, reach about 7,200 students, 429 teachers, and help treat about 15,000 patients who come through Hope for Haiti's infirmary that's located in the southern part of the country. We also do a considerable amount of work in bringing in, importing and distributing about $15 million, $20 million, depending on the year, of medical supplies, medical equipment, medication that we use at our infirmary and at our mobile clinics in rural areas, but that we also distribute out to about 25 healthcare partners, including the government of Haiti, which we consider a major partner in helping prevent the spread of COVID-19. We'll just finally say that we're driven and led by a very dynamic board of directors who are authentically passionate about the work that we do in Haiti. Many of them come from Haiti. They're also in the medical profession. They're accountants, they're finance managers, they're managers of finance, they're experts in communications and nonprofit management. So that's a little bit of an overview of our organization.
Very cool. Well, I know that you all are no strangers to disasters. I know that we recently featured a hot topic of yours, well, featuring Hope for Haiti, that was talking about the 10-year anniversary of the earthquake.
Yeah.
So I know that you know this is different in that typically the disasters that we're focusing on are localized. So we're talking about the earthquake that happened in Haiti or the Australian wildfires or the tornadoes in Tennessee. How are you all approaching COVID-19 and the economic shutdown?
Yeah, it's a really good question. Since the beginning, we've been at this thing, I'd say, really focusing on it since the beginning of March. So we're about 2 months in, right? And since the beginning, we really leaned on our experience during the Haiti earthquake. Our organization was on the ground during the earthquake. We responded to Hurricane Matthew when that ripped through the southern part of the country. That was right in our impact area. So a lot of ways we were prepared or seasoned to deal with this type of a crisis. And so our team, having worked together for many years, we've all worked, we trust each other, we collaborate with each other on a daily basis, year after year. What we did was we kind of slowed things down. We said, let's take a step back before we move forward and let's assess. And we looked at what our core operating principles are. Ray Dalio and his book Principles is a really important guiding book for us. So we looked at what our core principles are and how we want to act during this time. And then we dove into a situational SWOT analysis. And we follow this model of collaborative leadership at our organization. So every single person in our organization is a leader. And we asked our team to come up with a situational SWOT analysis where we looked at the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats that present our organization during this time. And we used it to prioritize our priorities. So we wanted to look at, what are the things are we going to be facing in the short, medium, and long term, and how are we going to address those things moving forward? And I feel like taking that second just to recognize who we were, what we've been through, what our core competencies are, and then plan has been tremendously helpful. And actually, when our team came back with the SWOT analysis, there are some things on there that we've been focusing on over the last couple of weeks that we needed to identify. And so just to give you a couple, first, on the ground, our team's been amazing. They did an assessment on what we had in stock. So we saw we had 90,000 surgical masks that we already had in place. Like, how much can we use for our own infirmary? How much can we push out to government hospitals, partner clinics, small clinics, different stakeholders? That assessment happened very quickly after the SWOT analysis happened, after we did the SWOT analysis. Another really interesting thing programmatically, we had a donor come to us with a pretty good amount of funds and said, listen, we want to get this out to help people. And so our team thought about it real quickly, and we decided that cash transfers to some of the most vulnerable people, right now is what we wanted to do. And so what we did is we asked ourselves, like, who are the Haitian equivalent of the grocery store clerks in Haiti? And for us, that answer was, well, it's the street vendors, the people who make street food or sell things on the streets. By the way, some of my favorite people, because I love street food. But
anybody with food is one of my favorite people.
Right? They're the lifeblood of the economy, especially in a place like Haiti, where people get a lot of their daily needs on the street. And so what we did was we devised a system where we're providing cash transfers in a safe way to street vendors and farmers, because we know food security is going to be an issue. We're providing them with masks. We're providing them with water filtration, and then a training on how to prevent the spread of COVID-19. And so it's this really interesting modification. One other thing I tell you, it's not just about the programs. I think on Friday, you made me think really deeply about something, which, we were doing it, we were doing it intentionally, but it really resonated with me when you said, we're gonna encourage nonprofits to think about their people. And that's so true. I mean, our team, your strategic plan, short and long term, it's only as good as the people who are implementing it, right? And
you also, just to interject there, I mean, you think about all of the things that you just mentioned of the people that you have that you're working with hands-on, you have people that are in the field, and then all of the beneficiaries from there, right? And you think about that supply and say, like, well, if Hope for Haiti can't continue to take care of the people that are here, we can't take care of people, that are, second and third removed as a result. So it really is a massive domino effect. So that's why it's so important to be taking care of your people.
Absolutely. And not just financially, but from a mental health standpoint, making sure people aren't just working themselves crazy and day in and day out. I mean, I think what a lot of us experienced in the last couple months is our workloads. We went from working from home, but our work hours increased. I think that's something that we have to look at and say, listen, how do we promote a healthier work environment during these times? So one of the things that we did, we have a really good friend of the organization. Her name's Maura Manzo. She works for she's a co-founder of a yoga studio in Conshohocken called Yoga Home. She came down to Haiti with us a couple years ago, did some incredible stuff in terms of mindfulness and yoga training and service. But Maura did an hour-long meditation training for our leadership team in Haiti, in the United States, brought people through, how do you meditate? How do you do a wellness check? How do you do a body scan? It was an important thing for us to just say, listen, let's take care of ourselves so we can take care of other people as well.
So I'm so glad you walked me through that, in that's kind of the theme of what we want to be featuring up into Giving Tuesday now, and then even beyond that, is that we've seen on our side that nonprofits have been really stressed with doing more and getting less, right? So we're seeing that 83% of the organizations that we've surveyed are saying that they're financially suffering, and the projections between April and June is a 38% decrease for those organizations. So you're seeing that, and then half of those organizations are also reporting that they're being asked more, in that they have more demand for their services. So seeing how organizations can respond nimbly, and you had outlined that as far as from the program perspective in the field. What are you doing to kind of counterbalance that, to try to drum up support of core level donors? what are you doing there to be able to kind of fuel the good work that you're doing?
I love that question because we've been thinking about this. The answer to this question as a team. I've been reaching out to the leaders of other nonprofit organizations and collaborating with them on one-on-one phone calls, which has been really helpful. And the answer for us was, before we sent out one mass email, we called as many people as we could on the phone just to check in. And these are the folks who have supported us year in and year out. These are the folks who are the people who are the reason why we're able to do the type of work that we've done. Our core supporters, large foundation donors, people who've donated $100 a month in recurring gifts every single month for years. These are our people. So we made sure that, number one, we called them on the phone because we wanted them to know, we're thinking about them, wanted them to know that we're safe, to let them know what we're doing. And that was it. There was no ask involved. It came from a place of genuine care and for our supporters. Then the second thing we did is we took a look at, we're not going to be able to do these big fundraising events anymore, like a lot of organizations. I think luckily our organization had something in the works called the Hike for Haiti Challenge. We were already planning to do this, and we were going to do it. The Hike for Haiti Challenge, we were asking people from all over the country to hike 22,000 steps in solidarity with school children who walk unreasonable distances to school. We had incredible ambassadors like Josie Altidore and Karen Civil and Khalil Ped, famous Haitian media personalities. And we were going to do this hike, and then COVID-19 happened, and we had to ask ourselves, should we keep doing this? And the answer that our team came up with was yes, but let's modify it. Let's ask people to socially distance. Let's ask people to hike in their homes or go out by themselves in a safe way. And let's extend it for the entire month from April 17th to May 17th. And what happened was that people just stepped up. Donors came to the table. Karen Civil, who's one of our ambassadors, just blew us away. She's a media mogul out in LA, works a lot with the hip hop industry. She got Jack Dorsey, the CEO of Twitter, to donate to Hope for Haiti. Josie Altidore, the former US men's soccer player, has been mobilizing his network. He's obviously has deep ties to Haiti. And that's the way that we've been pivoting and modifying what we do to continue to get support. The campaign is ongoing. We've raised more than $70,000 with an average gift size of $78 and counting. And we think we're going to surpass our next goal benchmark of $100,000. And it's just by mobilizing people, getting the word out, magnifying our community and our donor base, and having them be the megaphone for us and what they're doing to support education and healthcare and public health in Haiti. So that's one of the big ways. I'll just add one other thing. We're thinking about the long term. This is a marathon, and we might not even be in mile 8, right? And so if we're looking 5 months, 6 months, 12 months, 18 months down the road, we definitely got to understand that corporate donations in some areas may not be as big as they used to be. The revenue from special events may not be as big as they used to be. And so we're gonna really have to count on foundations, small individual gifts, private philanthropists, being really creative to raise the amount of money that we need to do the work. And so that's what we're thinking about now, in terms, not just, what can we raise this week, this month, but like, what can we help bring in to support the programmatic impact 6 to 12 to 18 months from now.
And I'm glad that you said that too. Speaking of programmatic impact, is that, when you look at Charity Navigator ratings and Hope for Haiti being a longstanding, highly rated charity, I think that when I looked at it the other day, it was since 2004. So almost since the inception of Charity Navigator, and most recently just re-earned your 4-star rating, or renewed your 4-star rating.
On Friday, we threw like an internal Zoom party for that. It meant a lot to us. Because look, transparency, accountability, good governance, impact, we've always strived to be the best at that. And I think what I love about Charity Navigator is it pushes you to be better, right? I want to know what other organizations are doing that we're not doing. What can we do to be better? What can we do to improve the efficiency of the resources that donors trust us with?
Absolutely. Yeah.
We're,
I mean, it's
you're
really
going to
a
ask
matter
me
of,
that. Sorry, I don't know if I
well,
cut you.
yeah, I mean, when people look at Charity Navigator, the success and the traction that we've garnered is really just a matter of people wanting to make sure that their donation was being used efficiently and effectively. But the landscape of nonprofits is changing. And so you said program impact, and that kind of stuck out to me to say, that's kind of the direction that Charity Navigator is going, is that we've looked at financials, we've looked at the governance practices, but there are obviously all these other important areas of a nonprofit. So even our CEO, Michael Thatcher, had posed this the other day of how do you gauge an organization's innovative capacity and also maybe how adaptable they are. So some of the things that you were just talking about, like those are the types of conversations that we're having to say, how do we rate this and how do we factor this in knowing that financials are going to be a bit of a mess this year. As we're encouraging nonprofits to take care of their staff, and they're being asked to do more and getting less funding, it kind of throws a wrench into that. So it's nice that it aligns with kind of where we were already headed and starting to look at other areas of nonprofit effectiveness to be able to give credit where credit is due of, what is the actual output and outcomes of the work that folks are doing.
I think that's so important. A personal note, every holiday season, my family does a charity giving night. And we each come to the table with a very small amount of money, and we decide what organizations to donate to. And most of the organizations are local, and most of them are small, and most of them don't have Charity Navigator ratings. But I say, well, how do you know it's a good organization? And you know what people say? I've served there. I've worked there.
Yep.
My nieces found an eagle, a baby eagle, and they found where to take it to this wildlife refuge center. And it had no Charity Navigator rating, but they were doing amazing work. And you're right, there's a lot of great organizations out there. It's one of the, I think, most unbelievable parts of our country is it's one of the most charitable and service-based, in terms of community service focused nations in the world. And you find nonprofits all over the place. And that's why what Charity Navigator is doing is so important. You got to figure out which one's doing it the best.
Well, and what we have been doing and what we are doing. So it's actually we're working on a new rating methodology and criteria to be able to serve those smaller, younger organizations, in that we want to make sure that that food bank that's in your community or the animal shelter that's up the street, currently they're not getting a Charity Navigator rating, and it's probably keeping people from supporting them.
I bet. So when are you guys going to launch?
What's that?
When's that going to launch?
So we're going to be launching in July.
Terrific.
So we're going to be scaling up from, currently we're rating between 9,000 to 10,000 organizations annually. And as of July, we'll scale up to an additional 100,000.
Wow.
And so those will gain really important trust indicators. It's going to be different than the star rating. It's going to live alongside of that. But the idea is that organizations would have a trust indicator that they can say, based off of Charity Navigator's checks, you can feel comfortable supporting us. This idea of being, gift worthy is something that we're throwing around now.
Is it going to be like, is there going to be a rating, or is it going to be just like a seal or something like that?
So now you're asking for trade secrets.
You don't have to divulge. You can say, I can't.
No, it's all still in progress, but we have a couple of different ideas that we're throwing around, but likely we'll end up with a rating. So that way you get some sort of scale as to, kind of good, better, best.
I think that's a great iteration in the next step for Charity Navigator.
Appreciate that. Well, knowing that tomorrow is Giving Tuesday now, and I know that Hike for Haiti is still ongoing. Do you have any kind of special plans, kind of personally or professionally?
Yeah, so my family, we're going to give to the charities that we support. A few of them off the top of my head. Educate Tomorrow does great work out of Miami-Dade. We'll support Build On, which is it's a family organization for us. We support that as a family. And obviously Hope for Haiti. So Hope for Haiti, we're going to be really focusing in on our core base and making sure that we call our donors. We're not going to send a lot of mass emails, but we're going to make specific phone calls to those people who are part of the family. I think we're going to be pretty big on social media. The Hike for Haiti Challenge, we're going to be putting out some incredible incentives. Tomorrow we're going to be there are going to be some prizes for donors. We got the Apple AirPods going up as a prize for our donors for the Hike for Haiti Challenge. I know there's some Lucy lights. Those are the solar lights that are so incredible. They operate all around the world. So we're providing different incentives for people to get involved. But we're just grateful to be part of this incredible giving community of people who are like-minded, people who have overlapping values, and who believe that service, being of service, is going to be what really gets us through this time. It's going to heal us. It's going to drive us. It's going to sustain us through this time. Of course, the vaccine's important, flattening the curve, getting PPE in the hands of medical professionals, but all of us being in service to our families, our cities, our country, the world, people who are less fortunate of us, that's what's going to get us through this. And so I think Giving Tuesday now is a good time for people to step up and take that first step, or take that next step towards giving and supporting nonprofit organizations that are going to be really important, needed more than ever during this time.
Absolutely, and really looking forward to seeing it all come together. We were sitting around, kind of as this was making its way to our shores, and saying, we know that the nonprofit sector is going to be hit really hard. And our Chief Rating Technology Officer, Stephen Rockwell, has said, we should really have another Giving Tuesday. And I think it was within a couple of days, we got contacted by Giving Tuesday to say, hey, we're kicking around this idea. We want to do this thing on May 5th. And we're hoping that you'll partner with us. And we said, oh, absolutely. That's exactly where our minds were. So looking forward to seeing the numbers and how much funds can be raised for some really worthwhile causes.
Thank you, Kevin. We appreciate it. And we appreciate everybody at Charity Navigator for helping shine a light on all the work that nonprofits across the country and across the world are doing.
Of course. Well, really appreciate your time today, Skylar. This was great.
Yeah, really appreciate you too.
And I'll be rooting you on as you're hiking your way to many, many miles.
22,000 steps this weekend. Next weekend, I'm doing it every weekend. For people who are still viewing the Hike for Haiti Challenge, get your steps in, walk in solidarity for kids who walk unreasonable distances to access education.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Skylar.
Appreciate you, Kevin.
Bye-bye now.